Phase 1 of New York City's largest development since Rockefeller Center opens to the public. When completed, Hudson Yards, a complex created by related companies and co-developer Oxford Properties Group, will cover 28 acres of the West Side with housing, retail, restaurants, public space, and more, making it a game changer in more ways than one. Related Hudson Yards President Jay Cross spoke with us about the project and how it will shape the city. Hudson Yards may be New York City's shiny new playground, but its story actually begins in the mid-1980s. Long Island Railroad was expanding westward in the city to create essentially a parking lot for its trains, the West Side Yard. President of Related Hudson Yards, Jay Cross.
So the yard, when it was built in the 80s, very cleverly, Richard Ravitch, who was the chairman of the MTA at the time, said someday somebody will want to build over these yards. And so they spaced the tracks in such a way that we could come 40, 50 years later and put all our caissons down between the tracks and then build a tabletop on top of the caissons.
It took 200 caissons to be exact. They support a platform holding the first phase of this Hudson Yards project, called the Eastern Yards. The second phase, the Western Yards, will be completed in the next 6 to 10 years. It will be built on top of another platform covering the rail yard between 11th Avenue and the West Side Highway. This stretch of Manhattan, 28 acres that fall in the broader 360-acre Hudson Yards district, is an area Cross sees as previously underutilized. Most of the land on which the real estate development, Related Hudson Yards, is built and will continue to build, was occupied by train tracks.
This was the only place left where New York could grow because of the industrial legacy of the railroads. There was Hell's Kitchen to the north, Chelsea to the south, and this was a big hole in a donut.
Cross says in a very mature city like New York, it's hard to assemble this many acres of available land. A project like Related Hudson Yards relies on there being old infrastructure available for redevelopment. Cross points to Barangaroo in Sydney, built on an old container port, and Canary Wharf, built on London's docklands. He says for sprawling cities, this might be a trend.
For the first time in ever, 50% of the population of the world now live in cities. That's going to put more pressure on cities, particularly mature cities, and so I think you'll see more projects like Hudson Yards, but they're difficult to put together. They're a little bit like unicorns. They're not easy.
Hudson Yards relied heavily on public-private partnerships, including the building out of infrastructure, i.e. the extension of the 7 train, and buy-in from retail businesses and corporations willing to relocate. In the wake of Amazon's move to Long Island City falling through partially due to citizen pushback over corporate tax breaks, conflicting news reports have come out examining a new school study on Hudson Yards that showed the city offered $5.7 billion in investments in tax breaks. According to co-author of the study, Bridget Fisher, this $5.7 billion went to the Hudson Yards district for investment in the extension of the 7 train, a new park, a new public school, and tax breaks for commercial and residential developers. $685 million of that went to sites involved directly with Related Hudson Yards. It's still a hefty price tag, but one that Related believes will funnel back to the city in GDP, taxes, and jobs. Cross believes the incentives helped court companies to relocate to Hudson Yards, a necessity in his eyes to develop the new neighborhood's ecosystem.
If you densify with only one use, like let's just say office, then you're going to have a dead neighborhood at night. If you densify with residential, you're not necessarily going to be humming during the business day. And so I think it's that the right combination of uses really creates a great neighborhood.
That mixed-use city within a city appeal is on full display in a commercial for Hudson Yards.
A place designed for harmony, to feed our aspirations and nourish our souls and our bodies. Imagine a place that reflects the spirit of creativity, the promise of technology, and the flawless expression of luxury and style. Seamlessly connected to the future of fashion, food, art, entertainment, and business.
Garnering a fair share of the Hudson Yards buzz are 2 attractions, the Shed and the Vessel. The Shed, a 200,000 square foot art space showcasing everything from visual art and digital media to dance, classical music, and hip hop, is set to open in early April. The building is most notable for its retractable shell that covers the adjoining plaza and can move back to open up outdoor space.
I think it's really going to put us on the cultural map yet again for something completely unique to New York.
And the vessel, standing as the development's centerpiece, is a giant climbable sculpture created by designer Thomas Heatherwick and his studio. It's comprised of 154 interlocking flights of stairs, offering different views of the city. Beyond the tourism-grabbing landmarks, related Hudson Yards can function as a community unto itself. The real estate project has its own grocery store, 25 restaurants and food concepts, a hotel, and will eventually have its own public school. But convenience comes at a cost. Apartments start at $4 million to buy and $5,000 a month to rent. The shops at Hudson Yards boast several luxury stores in addition to more mainstream stores like Sephora and Zara. For some, this luxury-oriented lifestyle has given Hudson Yards the vibe of a playground for the wealthy, but Cross doesn't see it that way.
No, I see it as an extension of New York. I mean, just this week it was published that London just passed New York as the wealthiest city in the world. So we are what we are. That's New York. But I think within the context of what we're offering New Yorkers, we've got everything. We have all sorts of food offerings. We've got affordable apartments here on site. We've got 100 of them already. We have 300 more still to build. So I think, in every respect, we're trying to build Hudson Yards as a place for all New Yorkers.
That means that while Hudson Yards is fairly self-sufficient, it was important to the related team to connect the complex back to the city surrounding it.
Hudson Boulevard goes north from us, so the subway is just above us. We have a 5-acre park here, anchored by the vessel, facing north. If you turn around and go south, you walk straight onto the High Line. We'll be able to connect straight back to Moynihan Station, which is the extension of Penn Station to the west. West of 11th Avenue, we'll hook up with the Hudson River Park. We'll all be connected underground to the subway. We're connected, therefore, to the Javits Center.
Not to mention 10th Avenue, 11th Avenue, and the cross streets. So Hudson Yards will have a ripple effect on the city as a whole.
Now the west side is continuous. And I think what's interesting, think of the Hudson River Park, you can ride your bike from the George Washington Bridge to the Battery. That's pretty cool. And now I think all the neighborhoods are equally connected through a park system and a transit system, and now even new developments. That's what allows a city to thrive.
From any angle, engineering, urban planning, design, Hudson Yards is an ambitious project.
We hear this a lot. We need a new Robert Moses. I'm not sure we need a new Robert Moses, but I think we need to go back to the ambition that Robert Moses had. And I think that what we've demonstrated here at Hudson Yards, that we can still be ambitious, and we can be ambitious and actually thrive and succeed. And I think that's something that we have to sort of get our mojo back and prove that we can be once again.
In Manhattan, I'm Maddie Orton for Metro Focus.